What's up, guys? Dmvdrakes here, and this is Yellow Joe. He's been switching a lot of colors recently. His BT-17 Pulsemon on the Boncho Pulsemon mat, courtesy to Discount Uno. We're going to put his Twitter down in the comments below and let it rip.
All right, Pulsemon, you get one guess on the egg. It's BB-Mon's.
Oh my God.
So this one, because you can tuck and gain a memory, it's really good. It's all right. And then this one, just because if you are at the 3 when you're swinging, you gain 1. You just want everything to be a BB-Mon, basically. That's kind of how the game's going on eggs now. So there's a lot of different Pulsemons you can actually choose from. This is kind of what I've been playing with at the moment. That seems fun. 4 of the new SR. Because like you've seen with the other new ones, you can tuck one of your tamers to get one of the effects that you need to either do gain 1 or recover them. But yeah, you can just straight get one of your tamers under your things for kind of free, which is really helpful in this deck that do that now. I'm running 4 of the classic Jamming Boy because you can just sometimes do it, trash them, get there, and be ready to go for the entire game because you're either sitting at your 3 or you lost. So, and then just jamming is jamming because giving anything jamming is pretty sweet. And then 4 of, this is the best card in the whole deck. I don't care what anyone says. 1000 DP all turn inherit, and then you can pick up 2 cards. So it's just picking up one of the Abaddon Electrics and then a Pulsemon in text. So that's really good. I think that's you could run a couple of the promos to draw, or I just kind of like that route better than the other just promo versions. I'm running straight 4 of the bulk. The new bulk's good. Just for the DP minus, to be honest. You can run a couple of the other bulks if you want, maybe just to be cheap and a little more aggro, but I like just kind of being able to nuke boards, Ukomons, because you're either usually at 3 at that, or you're going to go less and you're going to suspend something and maybe be able to run over it, so I like the utility of him. For your other 4, he's so good. You can sleep on this card all you want, but you just hard play him, because if you've tucked your tamer guy, you'll get 1 to go to 4 maybe, and then you'll literally just play this. If you're at the perfect 3, they can't do anything to whichever you give this ability from. They can't digivolve it, it can't have its DP minus. It's you have to bounce it. You literally have to bounce it, because then it has blocker and reboot. So this is really good when you can just actually get the effect off to keep yourself kind of protected, and being able to do that kind of on some of your 4s to last like a turn or 2 if you need to can actually help with some setup. I've only got 2 of these so far, but I might run 3 and 3 of this. The Xer to just suspend stuff, and you can tap tamers down, which is really good. So going in that when you need to is really helpful. And then the only thing that I kind of I like that you can suspend something all turns, but I still like the DP boosts that you can get in this deck. But this card is really good. That's the 4s for right now. The 5s, we'll go straight into the homie. This card's crazy. It's just crazy in general.
Second best card in the deck.
Yeah,
Literally.
the second best card in the deck. So you can, all turns when he would be removed, you can trash a security, and then when it trash a security, you can then digivolve into one of your Digimon with Pulse in attacks for free. So basically when you would tuck a tamer and give it barrier, you have almost protection, and you're going into your 6 for free no matter what they kind of try to do.
Just punish them for it.
Yeah, so even if they try to run over you, you barrier and go into your 6. Or they try to delete it, you barrier, you go into your 6. Kind of however you need to, because even if they're trying to delete it the other way, it's a weird other way of having barrier by being able to trash it the other effect. For my other 4s, people are argumentative about this. I'm running straight Pulse, 5s, sorry. 5s, Shootmon is just de-digivolve. If you have 3 or more, de-digivolve. Having de-digivolve in this deck helps it a lot. And then if you're sitting at that perfect 3, which obviously Pulse wants to, and you try to, you get to also just delete. Yeah, delete a 6 play cost. So you can de-digivolve something and then possibly delete it.
Like you could de-digivolve an ancient Garuru and then pop the hybrid. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And then and the thing that's actually really nice about these is, I'll say that after this, is the fact that they're on play and when digivolving. These are kind of just options in your hand at the same time. You don't really have to just look at them as Digimon. And then this being able to, the tempo being able to minus you by 4 if you're at the 3 or more. And then if you're at 3 or less, it can neg something to sec checks until the end of their turn. So these help you actually control a little what you need if you're playing just Pulse. If you're not playing the Lugamon Pulse deck, which just says go all the way or go home. But this one just kind of lets you kind of control boards as you need to. I really like these. So far, they've actually been really good in the testing I've done. And then all of the inherits will let you literally just trash a security to unsuspend.
Yeah.
Whatever your 6 is. So I like that 5 route right now.
Speaking of 6s.
Yeah, speaking of the 6s
Speaking
here,
of 6s.
I'm still running just Shroud.
Just doing a little bit of cleanup, folks.
I just still like the Shroud because I'm not really. I kind of just want to run the Pulse side, but yeah, at the perfect 3, he has protection from being removed. He'll be able to minus something 7k, and then if you're at 3 or less, he'll be able to delete something unsuspended. So he just is the other part of the removal that you need. On deletion, you recover 1, and then yeah, he's just good with his little bit of protection too. And then obviously your other 6 is the homie.
That Kazuchi
is so good. If you are at the perfect 3, this man just does work. He just does work because when digivolving, he suspends something. If you have your Leon, which you'll see will probably have a Leon in the stack.
Probably have
he then will neg their whole board minus a sec check. And then at the end of your turn, if you're at 3 or more, you can, one of their Digimon gets minus 6k, and then if you're at 3 or less, you can recover 1. So you literally just will almost always trying to be sitting right around that perfect 3 mark to be able to have both effects. And then after all of that, he can attack one of your opponent, or one of your Digimon may attack. It's not even just him. You could choose. So
it wasn't crazy enough.
Yeah, he's a really powerful level 6, and you go into him for 3 too on all the Pulse tech, so he's not super expensive.
Oh, that's
Tamer,
pretty dumb.
Tamer wise, we run 4 of the new one because he's cheap and easy to get that quick. You'll gain 1 from him if you have a Pulse in play, and then you tuck him, you gain 1, so you're already going to be going to 2 even when they try to choke you. So it's pretty decent. And then you gain barrier and blocker, so that's obviously how you try to do most of the effects in this deck, by just living a while. And then the other one is the memory setter, which is basically the same effect. You can mind link them both to just tuck and gain barrier and blocker, and you're most likely gaining a memory off of that. If you aren't, we got bigger problems. Right now I'm running 2 of Impulse Memory Boost, and that's just to play a Pulse. Gain memory and play a Pulse. I didn't really like the hacker card because I don't like always having to put myself to security. I know what it's there for. Get yourself back to the 3, or if you need it to trash so that you're at the 3, I understand. But I just kind of liked being able to play a Pulse or just having it for 2 memory. This just is, and the 3 drop is just easy. So that feels pretty good recently. I've kept this in because it's still just good, and you can make it pretty cheap if you need to, because everything's going to have Pulse and text, and it counts Tamers too. So you can just trash your security as you need to get closer to 3 while getting rid of a 5 you need to get rid of. So I actually really like the utility of that as well. And then you could run, these could be Heavens. Obviously these could be Heaven's Judgment because you have all these different colors, but just the Lonky effect of you're possibly going to be sitting at 3, being able to neg something 12 and then put something into security. Having this being a double removal seems, if you're already going for your little 3 strat, this seems like a great card to have in there.
And also you could pick up Lonky off the Pulsemon,
because it has Pulsemon and text.
Heavens does not have Pulsemon and text.
But yeah, that's the Pulse deck. It's the main thing. You could, alright, I'm just going to say it. I understand these should be ruin modes. And I understand. I get it. I understand. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm just running 2 of the homeboy because they also have Pulse and text, and it says minus 16k.
I think
as soon as I read minus 16k, all right, we're good. We're good. So this is just kind of a top end if you need to have an actual top end. to be honest, in the games I've been playing, it's actually more just been a sec bomb, and it's just kind of ruined people's day being a 16k body.
Yeah, right.
So I've had a lot of fun with this deck. You gotta also play your matchups with it. Don't expect to win any games. Just expect to, if you play your matchups well, you can get games. You have to play your matchups well. It doesn't run well and good into anything because you're not playing the half Luga side. I'm not playing a ruin mode, but you getting to your 3 and them not being ready for you 2 turns to be swinging, jamming, and then get ready something on board, and they're going, oh, okay. And then when you detach 2 of your tamers next turn, you're going to go up to 5 or 6 memory, and they go, oh. So you can do a lot more work than you realize. Kazuchi is he is actually just really good.
It's a powerful card.
So that's
All right.
how I feel about Pulse.
All right, Mr. Yellow Joe, I just had a quick question for you.
Yep.
So, obviously, a lot of other YouTube channels have been really, like, saying Pulse isn't great, it can't do anything, just play X deck instead. Why?
If you're going to play Pulse, you should just play the Luga line. If you want to win in top, I understand what the thing is about Pulsemon. Just play the Luga line because you can just go all the way up and go turbo. But if you actually like Pulsemon, he has a deck now. The deck can do work. I only lost 1 game today against Angels because I decked out. They didn't do anything. I was staring at an empty board. I ran out of cards. But you can actually get a lot of things off board. You have enough kind of wide space removal. The D-Digivolve. You don't realize when a hybrid deck looks at you and goes, dang, do I really want to swing and put you at 3? You go, this is fun.
Yeah.
Just making them have to actually think. But finish your question.
Oh, no, about the Boutmon. How do you trigger, typically, how do you trigger the inheritance?
I usually trigger barrier, so that when I just am barriering, because they'll try to run it over, is what usually happens. Someone will try to run it over. But I had 2 games today where they couldn't do anything into it because I just already was it and passed turn by throwing down a Nameke and giving him the inability to be DP reduced or D-Digivolve.
That's pretty good, actually.
So there was literally the only way you're getting rid of him is you're not. So then they just try to swing over you, and normally it's barrier. Sometimes they tried to pop you, just straight up delete you either by effect or someone's effect. You are stat unsuspended, so Doragora tries to pop you or any of the deletions, and then you just trash the security because when he's trying to delete, you just trash the security. So then that triggers him in general. So there's a few ways that once you get to a Boutmon, you can kind of feel comfortable. It's actually really fun. If you actually can take the time to actually try it out, see how you're supposed to run games. Some of decks like this, hella rogue decks, where like they can win.
Yeah,
they can do
win,
whatever they need to, because if you see 3 matchups that stink, you'll just turbo through them.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's how some of those rogue decks get what they get. It's because they run through good matchups. A lot of Digimon is matchup dependent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could play a not so great deck, but if you play 4 decks that you are really good against, you could win.
That's a locals right there.
That's a local, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
It's fun.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for the deck profile. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we got more gameplay videos, deck profiles, and podcasts to come. Later.